So it had been a while since I had talked to Mo, so I figured I'd pick up the phone and reach out to him. So I give him a ring, and the phone goes directly to the message stating that this phone is no longer in service. Well, that's weird. I've always been calling him on this number. So why would he get the phone changed? Why would he shut it off? But no big deal, right? Because like I told you earlier, I knew his girlfriend, then fiance, now wife. So I figured I'd pick up the phone and call ma'am. So I give her a ring. She's like, Lo, we haven't heard from you forever. Where have you been? What you been up to? What you been doing? So her and I, we discuss a few things. We talk about a few things. And I kind of say, hey, where is Mo? I called his number and it said that the phone is no longer in service. So she goes on to make the comment that a lot has happened since the last time we talked. And that I need to sit down in order for us to have this conversation. I can't lie. I was expecting the worst. My name's Lorenzo. I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome to Handles. Everyone has a grip on life. Everybody feels like they have a handle. Afraid to share the mistakes. The stories are what connect us. They are the key. We're running out of time. So one of my first real jobs in customer service, I got a chance to work right next to this guy named Mo. Amazing guy. Just down to earth all around. Everybody loves him. Me and Mo did everything together when I first got hired. He showed me a little bit of the ropes. We discussed different things around how customer service worked. We learned about things with power equipment. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But we were just kind of growing up in the game together. One thing a lot of people didn't know about Mo was that he was a habitual drinker. Like, all day long. You're probably going to say, is he a drunk, that type of person? No. I would more describe him like maybe a tickler, if you will. So from the time he woke up to the time he went to sleep at night, he just consistently sipped on different alcoholic beverages. Whether it was a beer, clear liquor, brown liquor, doesn't matter. And he would carry like a little mug around that was a little coffee mug that everybody thought was coffee. I mean, all day long. And he'd been doing that ever since I known him. Now, you probably think, does it affect everything he does? Motor skills, thought process, memory? Nope. Mo was always very even keel, just chilled, laid back. You would never know the difference. And like I said earlier, he was driving to work, power equipment. Hell, we went to lunch a few times he was driving. He was just always very even keel. So one day I asked him, I said, Mo, why are you always drinking? Like all day long? And he's like, man, it just keeps me calm. It keeps me relaxed. It allows me not to get too high, too elevated, or not too low. It's just a very easy soother for me. And I never could understand it, but it worked well for him. And like I said earlier, everybody seemed to like him. Not only did I enjoy working with Mo, but I also got a chance to work with his then girlfriend, then fiance, and now wife. We called her ma'am. And the reason why we called her ma'am is because she always put extra emphasis on the word ma'am when she was speaking to females. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Ma'am? I mean, everything was ma'am for ma'am. So one day I go to Mo and say, you know what? I have to call your lady ma'am from now on. And it stuck. Ma'am it is. So one day I hit up the phone, I call Mo and try to figure out where he's at for the day, and he doesn't pick up, but ma'am does pick up. I said, ma'am, what's up, man? Where's Mo at? She said, oh, Lo, Mo just literally fell on the ground about 20, 30 minutes ago, and he had a seizure, so we called for an ambulance. We're just getting to the hospital. Like, man, that's crazy. So, you know, of course, I gave him their space, whatever that may be. I get a call about maybe 2 days later. It's Mo. I'm like, bro, man, what happened? Is like seizures running the family? Is this something normal for you? Like, what's going on? He's like, man, I've never had a seizure before. I don't remember anything. Ma'am is the one that told me that I just kind of passed out, started foaming a little bit, doing some extra shaking, and man, I was terrified. So I have no idea what was going on. I don't remember. I woke up in the hospital. I said, well, did they run any tests? Like, what did they find? What's going on? So he goes on to tell me that the doctor that comes in and has a conversation with him starts talking to him about his life choices. He says, look, man, you got to slow down. Like, I don't know what it is that you do, whether it's drinking, smoking, you know, lack of sleep, Maybe it's your eating habits, but you have got to slow down. Because right now, your body looks like it's 30 years older than it should be. So whatever you're doing right now is literally causing harm to your body. So at this point, I'm all into the story because I've never heard anything like this before. We're in our mid-20s and your body is rolling like it's 50? Never heard of anything like that in my life. So I go and ask Mo, what are you going to do? He said, well, ma'am and I have been talking about just changing my eating habits. I'm going to be working out a little bit more, probably try to get some extra sleep, maybe try to change my job at work so that it's not as stressful. So we'll do different things like that. But I noticed he didn't say anything about the elephant in the room. So I figured I'd ask. So I said, Mo, just a thought, but have you ever thought about eliminating alcohol from your diet? And he loses it. Absolutely not, Lo. I don't need to do anything like that. I've been doing this since I was a teenager. My body's just fine. It's reacting to other things, not the alcohol. I know what it is. I'm just fine with my alcohol. But everything else, I'm going to adjust. I get it. I get it. No problem. Just figured I'd ask, Mo. Bring it down. Just figured I'd ask. So Mo starts doing a really good job. I mean, we actually start working out a little bit together. He's eating better. Whenever I talk to Ma'am, she talks about what he does at night as far as getting some sleep. He drinks wine at night now to get to sleep, stuff like that. So he actually turned the corner there for a second. But as we all know, jobs take us different places, and I ended up moving on to a different job. Mo kind of stayed where he was at, so we lost a little bit of contact compared to what we had before. So one day some things are going on TV, and it just strikes something in my brain about what Mo used to do, so I figured I'd give him a call. And you guys should be caught up by now. So I take Ma'am's advice, and I find somewhere to take a seat. And she goes on to tell me that Mo has had a mild stroke, probably about a month before that. And I'm stunned. She walks me through that the stroke actually took place very similar to the seizure, but he just blacks out at the same time. And I'm not a doctor, like I don't know what the hell she's talking about. But she goes on to tell me that before this happened, a lot of things were changing with him. He was losing his memory. He was becoming a little bit more violent and physical. His eating habits went back to normal. He was gaining excessive weight, and then the stroke happens. So she said after the stroke, he was having trouble with his motor skills from his fingers. He still has trouble remembering things. So they decided to turn his phone off, and that all the calls that he gets now go directly to her, being Ma'am. So I'm still sitting in this chair and I'm still stunned. I'm just trying to take it all in as she's going through every single thing that's happened. I'm picturing him as I remember him, and she's sending me over pictures of different celebrations and things that they've done, him in the hospital, what post-stroke looks like, and he looks like a complete different person. He looks almost reminiscent to what the doctor had said years earlier about his body looking double the age. That's how he looked now. So unfortunately for me, he wasn't available to talk at that time. I think he was taking a nap or something. But I told Ma'am to, hey, just tell him to give me a ring when he gets a chance. So a few hours later, the phone rings. It's Mo. And we just catch up like nothing ever happened. But I noticed some of the things I'm talking about, as far as memories, he's stumbling over. He doesn't remember some of them. So I'm throwing little hints in there as to things that we did so it can kind of spark his memory there, so at least he can kind of come back to the conversation. But I can tell he's different. So in the middle of the conversation, I hear Ma'am yell over the phone, hey Mo, tell Lo what you did. And Mo goes on to tell me that he's absolutely eliminated alcohol from his diet for like the last month and a half, ever since the stroke. So I go on to ask him, like, how do you feel? How's your body reacting to not having any alcohol in it, like as much as it used to have? I mean, this is a normal daily routine for you. This was literally on your itinerary. Your agenda every day was to have some form of alcohol, and you have none now? How do you feel? And I'll never forget, he says, it's like the cure I should have taken years ago. I feel so much better. Still to this day, when me and Mo catch up, he still struggles with a little bit of his memory, but a lot of the things that even Ma'am talk about, he's slowly but surely starting to enjoy when it comes to life. So I'll leave you with this. The cure to your current condition is normally the hardest pill to swallow. Thanks for joining another episode of Handles. I sure hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that like button. And most importantly, send this to someone you know needs to hear it. You want more handles? You can follow me on any one of my social media outlets or go directly to my website at the bottom of the page. Let's keep this rolling. I'll catch you guys next time, right here on Handles.